Welcome to February's first weekly recap of gaming news and updates. Let's get right into it. First up, Tomb Raider is getting a TV show and a new movie, produced by Amazon, who's also publishing the next Tomb Raider video game, developed by Crystal Dynamics. Amazon's trying to make one cohesive universe between all the different products. Phoebe Bridge was announced to be the scriptwriter, but we don't know who else could be involved, especially the actors. With the recent rating success of The Last of Us on HBO, the League of Legends in Cyberpunk animated shows, and whatever you want to call The Witcher and Halo and other myriad of movies like Mario, Sonic, Pikachu, it is our prediction that the age of superhero movies is over. Enter the dawn of the new video game adaptations. Next, the UN has released their findings from a survey that asked gamers their opinion on several environmental topics. Playing for the Planet was the actual organization running the survey, who is a United Nations Environment Program funded project. The full report is linked in the description below. You can read that for yourself. But the headline question was, are you motivated to pay for environmental content if it adds to the experience? A shocking 61% said yes. The most puzzling question of the survey, however, was asking the participants if they would stop eating meat. How eating meat and playing video games is correlated is a little bit beyond me, but it's the UN, and they've got that no meat agenda. All in all, though, this survey is only for headlines. Playing for the Planet admits this is in no way meeting academic standards for research, and I find great flaws in their samples. First, they had almost a 50-50 split of male to female demographics. This in no way reflects the actual gaming population, which we define as PCs or console. They were able to reach this ratio because they did the unthinkable and only used mobile games for their survey. Mobile games, of course, being heavily dominated by a more female audience, and in many of our opinions, not even in the same category as a PC or console, on a myriad of topic points, including cultural relevance, raw engine capability, and engagement of the hobby. We would very much like to see this survey done using more relevant AAA or even AA titles and more realistic demographics in their samples. We do not think that they would find as much willingness to pay for the green content having environmental politics in their games or not eating meat. E3 is returning this year after taking a few off, and as they say, they hope to reunite the gaming industry. However, that will be difficult doing so without the major players of Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, each of whom have gone on to do their own gaming expos. There are still many companies that can fill the void. With empty booths and time slots, we're sure that there's a long list of developers and publishers who would like to show off their newest content on such a stage. Things keep getting worse for Ubisoft. A few weeks ago, they announced that they would be canceling development on 7 games, which then caused stock prices to immediately take a hit. And that leads us to this week, where at their Paris studio, they had a little bit of a strike. 40 developers walked out and did the strike. Taking that into full context, though, it only lasted a day, and those 40 employees only make up about 15% of the total studio. Supposedly, the strike was due to fears of overtime and crunch after a comment by the CEO. That comment was, "The ball's in your court," while addressing his employees in the future of Ubisoft after a rough financial year. Whether this will lead to any delays in production of not canceled Ubisoft games, or in a more formal widespread strike, we'll have to wait and see. Ubisoft does still have Assassin's Creed Mirage, Zelda's New Allies, and a few Tom Clancy games coming out. All of this, and they also broke their games on Steam Deck. There's a possible workaround, but it's super early testing. Come on, Ubisoft, get yourself together. Moving on, the Moscow Center of Spark Technologies have revealed the newest CPU, the Elbrus 8SV, a 28nm, 8-core, 1.5 GHz chip. The YouTube channel Elbrus PC Play put the CPU to test in a video, but it's in Russian, so thankfully Tom's Hardware has a nice write-up on it. Gaming performance is there, but it's not exactly raising the bar. And finally, recent times continue to be just as confusing for the gaming industry's finances. With many mass layoffs and canceled projects, it would be pretty easy to think that there's another video game crash coming. However, take a look at these. God of War Ragnarok drove $9.6 billion for PlayStation last quarter. Capcom is expected to sell a record 40 million game units by the end of the fiscal year. And EA's fiscal Q3 profits are up 13% at $1.3 billion. These were again just from this week, but there's many more similar stories. Overall, the year was a loss for a lot of companies, but the end did show promising turns. Will 2023 be a recovery year for the markets? Are you planning on buying more games this year? Let us know what you're looking forward to buying and playing. That's it for this week. As always, there's so much more happening around the industry. For all of that news, please consider subscribing or joining our Discord, completely run by bots. Every bit of gaming news and updates is covered. Have a good one.